Okay, so now I'm live on YouTube. I'm talking to Nancy on my phone. So if anybody,
Well, I'm looking for YouTube on my phone, but
oh no, that's
it's not.
okay. I want to keep the Zoom open just in case anybody else joins in on it. So we've got, now I can't see, oh yeah, you can still see me just the same. All right. So, Nancy, have you done any yoga yet this morning?
No.
Okay. Well, while you were out, I did.
Usually I breathe and stand
What?
on my toes. Well, I do my neck every day.
Okay.
But
well, good. We're in about the same place then, because what I did while you ran to the store is I did my my back and neck exercises. So I stood up and I brought the chin in. So did you do that already this morning, bringing the chin in? You said you did.
yeah.
Okay, good. So we both did our neck exercises already. I did the wall exercises already. So if you're missing those, you know how to do those.
Okay.
How are you feeling this morning? What do you feel like you need the most of, Nancy?
Oh, I don't know. My knee has been bothering me again. It was pretty
Okay.
good for a while.
Okay, so
And now it's starting to bother me again. But I mean, I can do, tabletop and cat cow and all that, I think. It's, I can't sit cross-legged and I have to do a weird child pose.
okay.
But actually, I think, I'm keeping my chin in. I noticed, well, like a year or two ago, was, thinking, I need to stand up straight. I don't want to be hunched over in another 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. But I think what I was doing is when I was standing up, I was also sticking my chin out.
Yeah.
So now I think even when I'm driving in a lot of places to keep my chin in.
Yeah.
Which has really helped my neck because my neck hasn't been bothering me. I mean, it still makes some popping sounds sometimes when I do the neck exercises. Sticking out back of my screen is sticking out. The dog is a little better with yoga. She's laying on my bed, which isn't safe. Every once in a while, she'll jump down if I'm laying down, but she's been much better about leaving me alone.
Okay. Well, are you on your mat now, Nancy?
Yes.
Okay.
I have my blocks.
Awesome. Okay. Well, so I'm going to keep in mind that cat cow is fine. Child's pose is going to be hard for you. You'll do that a little differently. When have you tried putting the blanket under, like between your calf and your thigh when you do child's pose?
No.
That might take some pressure off. So I'm going to go get a blanket so I can kind of demonstrate that. Do you want to get a blanket or a towel or something too? Do you have a folded up blanket you can grab?
I don't have a blanket. I have towels.
Okay. Maybe get a towel. Yeah. You know what's good about that towel, Nancy, or even if you have a pillow there in your living room, is that we can put it under our butt. You said you don't want to sit cross-legged. So however you want to sit, even if it's on a chair for a moment, let's take a moment to connect with our breath and our stillness, generate some inner stillness. So sit comfortably.
I can sit, somewhat cross-legged, but
okay.
I'm sitting on my block. I'm in my bedroom.
Okay. That's great.
In my closet. My living room has too much light, and then there's all kinds of glare on the screen, so I've gone to doing it in the bedroom.
Okay. Well, we won't stay too long here. I know that a lot of knees, not just yours, but a lot of knees are uncomfortable sitting like this. So hopefully for anybody else who's watching, they can even just sit in a chair, sit comfortably wherever you're at, because discomfort is not only unhealthy for you, but it's also a distraction. You want to be comfortable enough that you can Bring that chin in, tall to the crown of the head, and breathe down. Exhale, allowing your breath to float up and out through your nose. Inhale, I feel energy coming in through the crown of my head, down through that central channel. My diaphragm goes down as I inhale. Exhaling, diaphragm floats up, pushing the air up and out. Inhaling that energy and breath down. Exhaling, allowing it to float up, and continue at your own pace, focusing on your breath. You don't have to force it to do anything different. You can just observe the breath as well. Observing nice, deep, healthy, cleansing breaths. And as I exhale very slowly, I start to hear that Ujjayi breath. It's like a Darth Vader breath, or if you were to be fogging up a mirror and you were to go, only you keep your mouth closed, and you hear that breath. It's from my epiglottis closing slightly as I tuck my chin a little bit and really release with that exhale. It's hard to force it. Like if I try to tell you how to do it and I try to even do it myself, it doesn't work. But if I inhale deeply and then I exhale, centering myself, sometimes I just naturally hear that Ujjayi breath, and it's really centering when I do. So I hope you guys hear it too. Now you can let go of that focus on your breathing, let it continue on its own, and just focus on how your body feels. Maybe you connect the two by noticing how your body feels in response to your breath. Maybe you just simply notice how your body feels in general. And maybe it's not comfortable in this pose. So we'll start moving towards cat-cow. Inhaling in a sitting cat-cow, we can do this. Exhaling, tucking that belly in, rounding, pushing away. Inhale, pulling in a little. Exhale, pushing away. And we'll bring that onto all fours when you're ready. If you have knee issues, you might want to be on that blanket. If you need to be on something softer than a yoga mat, since my blanket is this way, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Arms right under the shoulders, elbows bend towards the thighs, knees right below the hips, taps the feet down. As I inhale, I'll bend my elbows, keeping them tucked in, opening up through my heart, through my chest, which is so much easier because I did my wall stretches. Exhale, tucking the tail, rounding everything up. Belly pulls up and in. Inhaling, we open. Tail goes up. We smile through the abs. Heart smiles as well. Chest opens. Exhaling, reversing that, starting at the tail, tucking and pulling everything up and under. Notice that this portion is driven by your abdominals pulling up and in. Pressing all the air out. Continue on at your own pace. Every inhale is an open. Every exhale is a drawing upwards, closing the front of the body. And if you want to, you can start adding additional practices. One of them is side cat-cow. So we start in table and we squeeze one side. making a C shape on the one side of our body, looking over our shoulder. This is called puppy wags its tail, like you're looking for your tail. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, you squeeze the other side. Squeezing, making a C shape with this side, lengthening the other side. Notice if one side is easier than the other. For me, that right side is a lot easier to squeeze. So I'm going to go ahead and modify the left side. This is kind of like the wall stretches I was doing earlier. So I'm going to take and notice I'm crossing this right side over, stretching that out, stretching this side out. And this helps me squeeze the left side out and stretch the right side out. So you can continue doing cat-cow, or you can do the side cat-cow. Once you're satisfied with that, you might even want to start doing around the world, which is a combination of both. You can do around the world in both directions. What we're looking for is just mobility, flexibility, range of motion, all of which supports strength. So for me, I noticed the one side was kind of lopsided when I was doing the around the world, so I want to try that again, making sure my circle goes to the right as well as to the left. I'm going to do that in the other direction. If you pull your abs in while you do this, you're getting a good abdominal and digestive massage as well. So inhaling, the abs can come out, but then as you exhale, you pull them in. And eventually you'll be able to do one side at a time. So while you're doing that around the world, it's like you're squeezing the one side and letting the other side out, and then coming up, and then one side of your belly is going out while the other side's coming in that round motion. I'm still working on that myself. Let's also do some, let's pause with child's pose. And as I was telling Nancy, some people have trouble with child's pose, and it'll help them to put a thin or even a thick blanket or pillow between their heels and their leg. And then child's pose, we just come down, rest on our forehead. If that's hard for you to rest on your forehead, some options include you can bring your knees wider. That'll help you get lower. Also, you can use your forearms to support your forehead if you can't get it all the way down. I know some of my students, I'm always telling them, all these supports and suggesting they do these things to get their forehead to the ground. And they're like, no, really, we're happy hanging out here in space. So if you're happy hanging out in space, go ahead and do that. Then let's come up and around to work on our wrists. So Nancy, how you doing there?
Okay.
Okay. So I notice when I'm in cat-cow a lot, my wrists start to feel some tension from being like this all the time. So we might want to release our wrists. To release my wrist, because mine tends to be like this, doing so much yoga all the time. So I can do this pretty easily, but it's this way. We're supposed to be able to have the hand go straight down. And notice mine isn't going straight down. It's going out a little before it comes down. So I put my thumb under my wrist, my pointer finger on top of that, then use the other hand to gently, so I'm pressing and release some tension from that wrist. Another way to do this is to simply be on all fours and go like this, palm up and stretch it out that way. It's a little bit more extreme, I think. So you can do it this way. I just wanted to show you this way so you guys all understood what I'm saying, that this should be coming more flat. So whatever you do, I always put my thumb right under my wrist and then use my other hand to move the hand Release the tension. Using our breath and our loving kindness for ourselves to release the tension. Okay, so back to all fours. We were doing cat-cow and side cat-cow, active moving cat. Let's do some table balance now. Inhaling nice and long in a nice flat tabletop position, and then exhaling the leg up. See how that feels? You can flex the foot. You can point the toe. I'll come a little closer so you can see that. We can do the other side. Again, inhaling out. You can do different things with your foot. If ever you want to rest in child's pose, you can just do that. You can come on down. As long as you're feeling good, keep going with this. So remember with our cat-cow how we arched. We can arch and we can tuck knee to nose. So that's active moving cat. These are different options. If you're really happy with just a table balance, you can do that instead. Move with your breath, inhaling, exhaling. If you want to keep those elbows tucked in and bend them a little, you want to dip a little bit on your inhale. You know, whatever's working for you in your active moving cat, you can. Some people like to even do a table balance where they're using their arm out as well. So something like this. And then when they come in for the active moving cat, it's knee to nose, inhaling open like this. Do what's right for you. Change sides as is appropriate for you. Keep those wrists happy as well. So I can do this harder using my arm, or I don't have to. I can do this with both hands down, and I can choose to bend the knee and bring the toe up, or I can choose to keep it straight. I noticed my chin wanted to jut out there, so I'm going to try to keep that hyoid bone engaged. I can lengthen through with my heart without jutting my chin way out. Almost done on this side. That. In your child's pose, release all tension. Release your neck. You can look to one side and the other. We come up a little bit, curl our toes under for puppy, and then going into down dog. So if your knees are bothering you, Nancy, you don't have to do the child's pose and the puppy. You can just go straight up into your down dog. I like walking opposite elbow and knee, so trying to get this to show. Oh, keep Nancy right there. Hi, Nancy. Okay, so here we are. So bending one elbow and the opposite knee is how I walk my dog in the morning. Keep breathing. Enjoying the stretching. You can always come down to child's pose. Take a break. You can even do dolphin, which is on your forearms. This is better eventually for you, but some people like to start out like this. So whichever way you do dolphin, it takes all the pressure off your wrist, and it's just like down dog, only it's on your forearms, and you're always pushing your weight away from your hands in down dog. But in dolphin, I like to come up and practice getting that weight over my forearms. So whatever feels good to you between down dog and dolphin. We can rest a moment, then we're going to be doing some scissors to warm up. So down dog scissors, dolphin scissors. Let's see if I can get this. I keep telling my daughter I'm going to pay her to come in here and record me so I don't have to fiddle with this so much. She likes money. So maybe we'll
How
get
much
that
did you
going.
pay her?
I would pay her, I don't know, what should I pay her, Nancy? $5 to record a yoga class?
Hour, Eloy.
What?
$10 an hour. $10 an hour.
You think I should pay her $10?
Yes.
Well, so far I'm not making any of these classes, so that'll put me $10 in the rear. But hey, maybe if she records it, I'll start making stuff. Okay, so you're doing down dog or you're doing dolphin. You want to do your scissors. Can you see my leg's way up? You can put your knee up. You can press your weight back. And then you can rock forward a little bit. Might as well open up our hips, right? If Lori was watching, she would really want to do our pigeon. But that's optional. I know, Nancy, that doesn't always work for you. So if you want to do pigeon, you can. Otherwise, continue to work on your down dog and your dolphin.
I've been doing pigeon on my back.
Yeah, you can also do your pigeon on your back.
Now I can do flop over or whatever too.
Yeah. Towards the end of our practice, we'll come back to be doing stuff on our back. Right now, just warming up. Okay. So active moving dog is just like active moving cat. You can open up, rock forward, or not. You can just enjoy your down dog scissors. Do what feels good for your body. Some people like doing dolphin presses. You like dolphin presses, Nance?
Not so much. I was just plank to downward dog, plank to downward dog.
Yeah. So that's the same. So, okay. So dolphin presses only in down dog instead of. Okay.
So
Nancy,
dolphin.
what Nancy's talking about is going from plank, inhale nice and long here, to down dog. Inhaling to plank. Exhaling down dog, pressing your weight away from your hands. You can bring your hips to one side and the other. Again, just really enjoying the stretch. I know I am. Really enjoying the stretch. You can even then scoop through to a cobra. I like to wiggle my heart through, my chest through my arms. Because my arms are so close. They're right up against my torso. And then I can come back and do another child's pose, but do what's right for you. Maybe you like child's pose and it's restful, or maybe like Nancy says, oh, my knees hurt in child's pose, so you don't have to do it. But so we've got a down dog, we've got a plank, and we've got a higher cobra. Maybe we need to warm up with a lower cobra first. So let's do a cobra series together. I feel like the camera is so far away, but it's also a good position for it so you can see what I'm doing. To start out, the first gentle cobra is a sphinx, and for that we've got our elbows right under our shoulders and tail tucked. So be squeezing here, tucking that tail, or the tail. I mean, you can, so you're squeezing your glutes, you're tucking your tail to the ground, and we'll warm up ourselves with a grasshopper. Let's bring our forehead to the ground, tuck those elbows in and bring them up. Hands slide down, lower, curl the toes underneath you, pelvic floor in, lift those legs up, and then lift the arms up. Relax the neck. Inhale, lifting yourself up higher. Exhale, coming down lower. Inhale, opening up, chin in, and then slide the hands down, pressing open to a seal on your exhale, and then that tail down, squeeze, open through your heart. Really enjoy opening the front, shoulders open, elbows tucked in to open those shoulders. Breathing deeply as long as you want. If you protect here, you won't feel any pain here, tucking that tail down. Opening up and then coming down. And then we're going to push up to plank and then or to table, and then your choice between child's pose and down dog, or again, dolphin. So there's down dog, and here's dolphin if you have any wrist issues. Basically, we're just stretching our back out, just in case you had any pain develop here while we were arching that back. Exhale, release, and we'll do that one more time. So you can stay in table. You don't have to do plank. If you want to, you can do plank. Inhale nice and long in plank. And then there was that option to be doing dolphin plank as well. Then we're going to go to a down dog or a dolphin. Pressing our weight up and back. Inhale here, nice and long. Stretching energetically through your back and tail. Exhale, and we'll start to come down. So we're going to do a little vinyasa, what we call vinyasa flow here, and that is how you get from plank to cobra. So Nancy, go ahead and do what feels good for you. I'm going to demonstrate a couple different ways for our viewers. So you can put your knees down, keep those elbows tucked in, and you can bring your chest to the ground. This is called knees, chest, and chin. But notice actually my thumbs are a little far out for me to do that. My students have helped me see that it's much easier for them if they have their thumbs in closer to their body like this. And you can lower down. This is knees, chest, and chin. Notice my toes are still curled underneath me, and that'll help me push myself up if I want to come up into a cobra. I'm going to demonstrate that a little smoother. Inhaling, exhale, knees down. And you can slide your hands up to whatever kind of cobra you want. It's just transitioning between down dog or child's pose, something like that. Plank and cobra. You can also go straight down. You don't have to come down to knees, chest, and chin. You can just chaturanga and then come up to an up dog. And then back to down dog. All right, we're ready to start doing some standing stuff, which means I'm going to have to move my camera. I'm going to make sure my hamstrings are really happy with me. Stretching them out. Looking up at my hands, I'm going to hop. So looking at my hands, I'm going to hop my butt up. My feet are going to follow. And then I'm going to lengthen out. I'm going to hang down. I'm going to bring my feet more to hip distance apart for stability. Butt down, belly in, arm curling all the way up. Okay. Hi, Nancy. Thanks for being here, Nancy. You're my first online live student. I mean, I don't know how many I have out there in space, but you're the first one who's interacting with me through Zoom. So thank you. All right, I'm going to move a little bit of stuff around. We'll start our vinyasa. Let's see. Oh, good. Start our sun salutation practices, I guess what I mean. So, let's see. That almost works. Okay. So the feet hip distance apart. I'm going to start here. With the feet hip distance apart, we're going to inhale up, little back bend, stretch through one side, stretch through the other. Bring the hands together in prayer. Exhaling. Inhale. Clasp the hands together, opening up, stretching. We're even going to do some total circles here, making sure the whole back feels good. We'll do some hip circles. Jenny, are you going to do hip circles with us?
Not with my back is killing me.
Oh, that's what this is good for. You can put your hands on your low back.
With my dumb mattress. I'm going to take something, Mom. All right.
Put
Hey, you
your
want to come with me? Come on.
feet together, knee circles.
Yeah.
Stretch out your feet. How are your feet doing, Nancy?
Okay. Yeah, they haven't been falling asleep much. Or cramping.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Down.
So have you done a standing twist yet this morning, Nancy?
No.
Okay, let's do that. So feet hip distance apart, chin in, nice and tall to the crown of the head. Bend the knees a little bit, maybe tail down, and then keeping the hips forward. We're going to twist, relaxing the upper body while the lower body provides the anchor, tail down, hips forward. You can close your eyes, scan your spine, which is stretching out tall through your crown and down through your tail. And visualize your vertebrae with lots of space in between them, all stretched out, twisting freely from side to side. Up through your middle back and upper back. Up through your shoulder region, you're also opening up your pecs, your shoulders. You swing like this. Up through the neck.
Jenny, you're too loud. Katie, yeah, go lay down.
Okay. So are we all ready to do some sun salutations?
Sure.
All
Go
right,
lay down.
let's go ahead and start. The camera can't see all of my arms and stuff, but we're just going to have to,
Go lay down.
I guess I could move it back a little bit. Okay, so toes together or feet hip distance apart, your choice. Center one time here with the breath, exhaling. As we exhale, we feel that energy pull in. Inhale, we stretch out. Exhale, hinging at the hips. We're gonna bring our hands to our legs. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, sliding the hands all the way down. We'll put the hands on the ground or your blocks, stepping your right foot way back. Let's go ahead and put our knee down. We haven't done this in a while, huh, Nancy? So if we put our knee down, we're getting that nice hip flexor stretch.
And so you decided. Katie, no. Good, Katie. Go lay down.
You can stay with your hands on your blocks if you have blocks, or your hands on your thigh. Or if you feel real good here, you can open up, maybe even tail down, a little back bend. Then you can come down a little bit lower, and you can do lizard if you want to, bringing this hand inside underneath your leg, opening up. I'm kind of wishing I had brought my blocks because it's easier to do this one with the blocks. Then I could be up here, lifted up, but I'll just have my fingertips on the ground, lifting my heart up and past my toe. My toes are pulled back towards me after I crack my toes. Inhale, lifting up, and exhale, hinging at the hips, releasing the hamstring. You can point the toe as well. You can do little circles. Releasing tension. Maybe moving back and forth between those poses, watching your body, observing your breath, and making sure no tension rises up. If it does, you use your breath to release it. So your hip flexors are happy, your hamstrings are happy. We can lengthen through our spine. I'm going to come up on my back foot, show you here. I'm going to come up like this so I can do a little twist, nice and long through my spine before opening up. And then we're going to come back to that vinyasa. So the foot comes back, inhaling nice and long. You can put those knees down or not. You can scoop down and up, opening up to whatever cobra you choose. And then exhaling back to child's pose or down dog. Come back on my mat. If you're in down dog, press your weight away from your hands. Pressing that butt back, releasing those hamstrings. Let's do some down dog scissors again. Do one on each side. And eventually do one with your right leg because we're going to step the right leg up just so that we can put our left knee down. Again, if you have blocks, you can stay on the ground like this and just enjoy the hip flexor stretch with or without blocks. Blocks make it easier because they can lift you up a little higher. You can also have your hands on your low back or on your thighs. You can inhale all the way up. How you doing, Nancy?
Okay.
Looking good. Thank God for Zoom. So nice to be able to see you. I see Jenny too. Hi, Jenny.
Hey.
So enjoy that hip flexor stretch. There's different things you can do with it. You know, you can feel it more here. You can even twist in this position if you like. Yogi's choice. Then you can come down and you can choose to do this lizard thing or not. Lizard pose is where you're kind of getting under your leg and stretching out more. Make sure whatever you do that you're able to breathe through it. Release tension. We're only accessing tension so that we can release it. We're not trying to stress ourselves out with our yoga. We're trying to unstress, right? De-stress. So find any tension, scoop it up and release it with your breath. Just exhale it right out your nose. When you do your hamstring stretch again, if you have blocks, great, use them. Inhale the heart up over the toes. Exhale, hinging at the hips, releasing tension. You can point that toe. You can do some little circles with your ankle. And then you can just test and make sure your hip flexor is still happy with you. Your hamstring is still happy with you. Make sure everything feels good. And then we're going to bring, you know what I didn't do? So with this, we've got that other twist. So we can curl that toe, that back toe underneath us, bring that back leg up off the ground. Inhaling nice and long through the spine, and you can turn, twist. As you exhale, belly pulls in, and you're allowing yourself to twist more, looking up at the ceiling. Make sure it feels good. Breathe deeply. Then we'll bring that right foot back, and we'll once again do a vinyasa. So maybe you just cheat and go to your knees down and right into a nice open cobra. Maybe you want to get that yoga push-up in, so you're lowering down a little bit. Maybe you do a full scoop. Maybe you chaturanga, opening up. For my viewers who don't know what chaturanga means, that means you're not even coming down, you're not even touching the ground, you're just scooping from a plank up to an up dog. Do your down dog or your dolphin of choice. Release those hamstrings as you push that weight back. Use your breath to release. We're going to look up at our hands and we're going to hop our feet up towards our hands, drag our hands to meet our feet wherever they land. Back, and then exhale, drape the body down, hang down, butt down, belly in, so that we can uncurl all the way up. Okay, I'm gonna move my mat this way. Maybe diagonal, how about that? That's the best of both worlds, kind of. So, we're coming back to mountain in the front. We've got the front of our body stretched out nice, tail down. Ready to have the toes together for our sun salutation. Exhale everything out. Spend a moment in that stillness before inhale, stretch. Exhale, hinging at the hip. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale. Let's bring the right foot way back. You don't have to go way back, I suppose. The beginners can bring it just kind of back. You can have it forward like this for warrior one, or you can have it way back. I'm going to do way back today. Woo, challenge my balance. Inhaling, exhaling. This is kind of like how we just were, only our toes are curled underneath us. So if this is too hard for you, just step it up to here. Doing our Karate Kid arms, tail down. We can inhale up. Exhaling, hands back to the heart. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale. At your own pace, of course. Exhale. And now I'm going to inhale up and over to warrior two. So when I check my feet for warrior two, I could draw a line from my left heel through my right arch. My right toes are in a little closer to my nose than my heel is. And inhale up. Exhale, sinking down. Now, even though we did that pigeon, or I still feel a little bit of tightness here. A little bit of tightness in my inner thigh. So if I had a block, or even here, I'm going to grab my Yeti. I'm going to pretend my Yeti is a block. You can see like 10 of them behind me, but for some reason I'm not going and getting them. So if you use something like a block in front of you, you can open up that inner thigh a little bit more here. That feels good. That helps you point that knee in the same direction as your toes, straight out this way. Inhaling up, exhale, sinking down. Chin in, tall to the crown of the head. We can turn and look over our front hand. Notice that pandemic and all, nothing dangerous is seeming to be coming at us. It's a gorgeous day. So we'll bring that chin in, turn and look over the other hand. Everything is all good there too. So we'll bring the chin to center, and we're going to bring the right hand down the right leg. Left hand goes up, and we do our side bend in peaceful warrior or reverse warrior. If you want to bring the other hand behind you or wrap it, around somehow, you can. I like to have my hand here. Oh my gosh, that's a nice stretch, Nancy. I haven't done that in a few weeks. We're going to reach over. Now for our side angle stretch, we want to be sure that we're reaching our ribs out over our knees towards whatever direction this is for you, because we're going to be long through both sides of our torso so that we can turn our heart towards the ceiling. It's a back bend, so you don't want to have any arch here in your side. No, you want to be nice and long through both sides of your torso. And then you can spiral your heart towards the ceiling, looking underneath your arm. You can even bring your arm behind your back. Some people like to come down lower under their forearm, and that's fine too. That would be extended side angle if you're coming down this low. Other people like to use their block or their Yeti right in front of their knee to do a hot triangle. That's what I like. I'm going to stay here for a few moments. Keep breathing, releasing deeper into the pose. And then coming down. Now, if you want to do another twist like we did, at this point I'm high up enough that I think I would want to, I guess not. If I had a block like on its back, basically, a block might help. But you can do that kind of twist before doing your vinyasa. So do whatever vinyasa is right for you. Going somehow from plank to cobra, whatever cobra is right for you. Take a deep breath, exhale, lower down, and then inhale, scooping up, opening up, bringing that chin in. You might even hang the head a little bit and breathe into and release more tension in your upper back and neck. Or coming up again. Oh, enjoying that stretch. You can go back to child's pose or down dog or even puppy, just like toes curled under child's pose. And then down dog, your choice. Notice your arms in down dog. Notice if your elbows are pointing towards the ground or out. In all these poses, we're trying to keep our elbows basically pointed down in this position, wrapping those shoulders in such a way. So it's okay if you're not there yet, just be mindful of working towards that. You can see what happens if you point those elbows down when you're bending them, then you can easily bring them down and be into a dolphin pose. So much fun. When you're ready, you can bring your hands and feet together. So maybe you would prefer to slide your hands back to your feet. That's fine too. Whatever works for you, lengthen out, hang down, release everything like a rag doll. You can even put your hands over your elbows in a way that you just really hang down. Then bring your butt as low as you can to deeply bend your knees if that's okay with your knees before uncurling up. Okay, we'll do the other side. How you doing, Nance?
Okay. I'm gonna have to quit pretty soon though, because I have to and stuff to go do
Oh,
Meals
that's
on
right.
Wheels.
Okay, we'll just do the other side and then we'll do gentle. Let's see. Toes together, for me anyway. Squeezing legs together, tail down, butt cheeks and glutes active. That protects me so I can inhale up into a nice back bend. Exhale, hinging at the hips, hands on shins. Inhale, partway up. Exhale, hands slide down, leg goes back, left leg this time. I'm going to inhale up from here, from this low lunge. You can be in warrior one if you prefer. Inhaling up, exhaling. So like how many minutes you got, Nance?
Well, I probably should quit at 10.
Oh my, okay.
I'm not sure what time it is.
You know me, I could do yoga all day, but I also really want to get out to my gardens. That's okay. Inhaling. Oh, next time I don't plan to come into the studio Thursday. I'm going to try to do this from my land. I'm going to clear out a nice space on the deck or outside or somewhere from home to do this meeting on Thursday is my plan.
I know there's rain predicted several days, but I don't remember which days.
Well, my deck is covered, so that might be a good place, even in the rain. Okay, so we can open up to our warrior two. I'm going to switch sides so that you guys can see me better. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the mat's doing, right? I'm just going to go over the mat. Okay, inhaling up to warrior two. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink down. Chin in, hold to the crown of the head. You can turn and look over your front hand, over your back hand, all as well. We're going to do our reverse warrior, side bend, release tension. Doesn't really matter how long we spend on each side as much as it matters that we release. So if I'm talking for like 5 minutes when we're doing it on one side, but we release, then on the second side, we can release faster. That's where you get the benefit, is from the release, however long that takes. So enjoy your side angle wherever you're at with it, your hot triangle if you like that. Then we'll do our vinyasa plank to cobra. Inhaling, exhaling down, inhaling, opening up. I'm going to exhale back to child's pose this time, Nance, so that I can namaste you on out to your day. So I'll continue on for those who are watching besides Nancy, but I will get in touch with me if you want to Zoom with us, because we can have Nancy and a whole bunch of other people Zooming and practicing together. I might even stop doing the YouTube live. I think I might do recorded videos on YouTube, but otherwise just do the interaction with people through Zoom, because that's so cool. So Nancy, thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.
Okay. So for the rest of you, we just did our sun salutations. We should probably do a balance actually before I bring that down. So if you've got a wall or a beam, what is this? I have a pillar, something that might help you with your balance. We're going to work on Dancer today. And Dancer is a pose that's done a lot of different ways, but the beginner dancer, how do I get this right? Okay, the beginner dancer is to keep your hips stable, but to come up onto one foot, and the other one, you're trying to keep those hips level. Notice I'm not like this. I've got my hips even here, and I'm gonna massage my foot. But that might not be easy for everybody, and you might want to have a strap. So I'll go get a strap so I can demonstrate that. Some people have exercise bands. A tie will also work, like a men's necktie. But you just need something that you can. How do I show everything at the same time? You want to get something under your toe. Okay, so I stop rushing and try to do this right. Use my strap to make a little loop here. You can actually step on it and then turn it. Oh. Turn it like that so that now you've got access. And then you just walk your hands down that strap, whatever you're using, right? The idea is to keep your hips in line, your knee down, not to let your knee go out like this, but to keep it down. Tail down, glutes squeeze to protect that low back. So if you need the strap, then go ahead and use the strap. But if you don't need the strap, or you don't want to use the strap, you can just grab your foot. And I like to give my foot a massage. You guys hear all that going on out there? So there's the Tuesday morning 10 a.m. emergency practice bell, and there's also an ambulance going on out there. Sounds very chaotic. Breathe deeply. All right, so I just put my hand on the inside of my foot like this, and then my other arm's going up. And I like to go like this because eventually the goal is that I'd be able to grab that foot with this arm. Eventually that could happen, right? If you've got your strap, though, you can do it this way. Oh, my low back is starting to be ouchy after that, so be gentle with your low back. I think this is a good reason that when I stream on Thursday, I'm going to be at home in my forest, in my woods, and then we won't hear ambulances and all these crazy things. But anyway, so if you use the strap, you get to do this. Really important that you squeeze those glutes and keep that tail down. You can open up, getting a nice back bend. Oh, that feels good. Additionally, you could just, it's this arm that's supposed to go up, the opposite arm. You could just do this, right? Wherever you're at. Let's do the other side. If you're a leaning dancer, you can lean on your beam. That's no problem at all. That's what the wall's there for. massaging my foot, being grateful that all the emergency sirens are off. Whew. Breathing deeply. All right, so I'm going to take this hand and go on the inside of my foot, this hand and go up, back. And that was so much fun with the strap. I want to try the strap too, but just in case you don't have a strap and you're looking for something else you can do with this, if you have a wall, you can position yourself to do something like this. You can also bring the hand around, you can bring the toes up. You could even do that without a wall. Use your imagination. I'm going to go ahead. I think I might even, my low back starts to get ouchy, so I might lengthen out, hang down, stretch out my low back by bending my knees. I'm curling up, and then I'll try this on the other side with the strap. So I just make a loop. I step into the loop. So actually I have the loop right under the ball of my foot, and then very quickly I'm going to just whoop, bring it around. Whoa. The beam is my friend. That felt pretty good. Okay, so that is our balance for today. And in case some of you haven't done your wall stretches yet, if you're over at the wall, you want to inhale, open up. There's even like full angel arms at the wall. You might want to do that. I did mine earlier for those of you who are with me at like 8:30 a.m. But it feels good to use the wall in that way. You might even want to just ignore the rest of what I'm doing and just do legs up the wall. In fact, I think I'm going to ignore the rest of what I plan on doing and do legs up the wall. So legs up the wall, and again, I'm going to be using a beam here just because it's where I want to be right now. But you have to position yourself so that you get your butt up against your wall. I'm going to have mine a little in front. I'll show you why. So I'm getting on my side, and then when I rotate, now I'm going to be in front of the beam. And the more, the closer you get to the wall, the better. But notice how after all of that arching of the low back we were just doing in Dancer, this really nicely puts that low back flat on the ground again. So I'm going to get a little closer and then back up. Now, if your back doesn't like to be on a hardwood floor or whatever kind of floor you have, you might want to put a blanket underneath you. I'm good like this right now, so. That feels good. Breathing deeply, letting your blood flow back to your head. You can still breathe diaphragmatically, sending your energy down and like that. Inhale back through your nose, but it's a nice nervous system reset to have your feet above your head. And stay here as long as you like. I do want to do some of the restorative neck stretches, or not neck, hip stretches that I had intended to do without the wall. But let's do some experimenting since we have the wall here today. One of the things I wanted to do was cross the ankle. Notice I'm bringing my knee towards my shoulder, rotating at the hip, not the knee. But I'm going to bring my knee over my, or my ankle over my other knee. So generally when we do this, we have this foot, my left leg, this is my left leg on the ground. We could have the foot on the ground, or we can bring it towards us like this, right? People will reach under or they'll reach over. But I have a beam right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the beam to my advantage. You could use a wall if you have one. And I'm going to push this knee away a little bit. So do that if it feels good for you. Feel that in your hip, your piriformis. If you ever get sciatica, it might be a tight piriformis causing that. So this is preventative exercise for that. And then we do something called the flop in my yoga classes. So we take the left hand on the right ankle here, and we just flop over. And when we do that, you get more of a stretch here. You can also lengthen through your spine and allow this to be a spinal twist by looking in the opposite direction. You can stay here as long as you want, enjoying. If you start to feel any gripping or this gets tight and you can't release it, then you're going to want to start walking that foot away from you. And maybe eventually you'll just go into like a full twist, lengthening through your spine. So you're nice and long through your spine with any twist. And then you've got your left hand holding your right knee down. There's even something called licorice twist, which some of you might like, which is where you wrap like this. I'll hook my foot even. And this is not for everyone, but anyway, you can get that knee anchored down. I just use my hand most of the time. It's going to help stretch here. It's good for runners, stretching that IT band and the tensor fasciae latae, TFL. All right. So let's hug the knees, do some little knee circles. Now we'll do the other side. So I used my wall last time. I don't have to use my wall this time. I wonder what happens if I just bring this on the ground. Is that too low? This time, I think I will just bring my left knee towards my ankle and rotate and use my hands to bring that as close as I want it. I'll use my right hand over my right knee so I can use my left hand to push away. You just stay here as long as you can release. Basically, that's your job, is to release your tension. So however long that takes. When I'm talking, it obviously takes me longer. And once I've released the tension here, I'm going to put my right hand on my left ankle and go ahead and put my foot down to make this a little easier. And I'll flop over. So now my left knee is still up a little bit. I'm lengthening and I'm turning. Don't know how well you can see everything here. But lengthening through your spine. You can enjoy the spinal twist. You can enjoy the release of tension here. And you can release your foot to release even more. You can work on any of those other things we talked about. So I'm going to go into more of a cross-legged licorice twist. I don't have to hook my foot underneath in order to do that. Lengthening through the spine, allowing the twist, enjoying the release. Okay, now we need to neutralize our low back with a bridge. So notice if you look at my pelvis, when I inhale, I can tilt it this way. When I exhale, I'm going to scoop it this way, tilting it back. So we're going to call this an anterior pelvic tilt, whereas this is a posterior pelvic tilt, and the bridge is a posterior pelvic tilt. We can inhale, open, and then exhale, closing, just like a cat-cow, and then pressing into the feet. We can keep that tilt going. We're tilting this way, lengthening through the back, lengthening through the tail, and we're going to lift up. Try to keep your nose to the ceiling once you've lifted up. Nothing I have to say or looking at me is going to be important enough to hurt your neck. once you're up about this high, you don't want to turn your head, because notice how all this weight is right on these upper vertebrae. So you don't want to turn your head when you're in that position. You'll have to come down. So to demonstrate coming down, I'm going to lengthen through my low back, tilting even more, and then I'm going to uncurl one vertebrae at a time down. Very last thing I'll let go of is that posterior tilt we talked about. Okay, now I've let it down. So you can do that a few times. Some people like to do it with their breath. They like to lengthen and curl their tail towards their nose, doing that posterior tilt, inhaling on the way up, and then maybe lengthen on your exhale, and then come down on your exhale. And come down nice and slowly if you want. Other people like to maybe inhale when you get to the bottom, doing an anterior pelvic tilt. Exhale, lengthen, and then come up and stay up for a while. You can stay up here for a while, strengthening those glutes, squeezing those, lengthening. This is a I don't want to say precursor, but that sounds like a disease or something. It's not really a prerequisite, but it's definitely recommended as a prior step to bridge. Squeezing, lengthening up. You don't have to have your hands clasped underneath you like I do. This just helps me squeeze up a little higher. Oh, that feels good. I'm going to bring my shoulders back underneath me, lengthen, posterior tilts of the pelvis as I come down, one vertebrae at a time. If I was going to do full wheel, which I suppose I could, I wasn't really feeling like it, but if I do that, I'm sure it'll feel good once I do it. I want to keep that same concept. I want it to start as that posterior tilt, which is going to protect my low back and the back bend. And it's really an extension of what we just did when I go into wheel. I wish gymnastic teachers taught it more like that, but it is. So I'm bringing my feet a little bit closer to me. I might want to stretch out my triceps first too. That's like this. And for those of you who don't want to do a full wheel, you can practice stretching out your triceps like this. And you can even do a bridge with both your hands under your shoulders like this, pinkies on either side of your spine. And that is an interesting way to give yourself a chiropractic adjustment as you bridge up and uncurl down. But I'll go ahead and place my hands right here. I'm going to inhale and exhale. I'm going to curl that posterior pelvic tilt. Then I'll press all the way up. Oh, you know what? Without my mat, I feel like my hands are going to slide. So I'm not going to demonstrate that right now, but you understand. My feet feel like they're touching the ground, but my hands, I think I've got lotion on them and they feel like they're going to slip. So we'll just stick with this one for today. Let's do this one again. If you're watching me, I just did a little bit of adjustment for my own neck. You want to have space under your neck. So I started to feel my chin come towards my chest, and that's not okay because that would lengthen my neck out on the ground, which is not okay. You want to keep that bowling ball kind of curve of your neck, even when you do this. So your chest can come towards your chin, but your chin cannot go towards your chest. You want to keep that space under your neck when you bridge. Okay. Now, since we didn't do full wheel, something we might want to do to stretch out our back, something that's really good to do after plow or shoulder stand, inverted angle pose, is fish. We're going to bring our hands underneath our butt, flex our feet. So I'm straightening my legs, flexing my feet. Might want to watch first. I'm going to inhale. Then I'm going to exhale, pushing my heart up. Neck down. I'm going to resituate my hands. I felt like they weren't straight. I haven't done this without a yoga mat in a while, so it feels a little different. I'm inhaling. Exhale, pushing up. And coming back down gently. So by doing that, we've bended lower and then upper sequentially in that back bend kind of posture. You might want to massage your neck, your shoulders, look in one direction, the other. We are preparing for Shavasana. So for Shavasana, you want to be on your back and you want your low back low. And you want your shoulders down. So if you have a good yoga teachers coming around and doing adjustments for Shavasana, like I will slide my hands here basically, and as the yoga student inhales and exhales, I can bring their shoulder blades down their back with my hands. But you can do that yourself as well. So if you're laying on your back with your feet on the floor like this, you just push yourself that way in that direction, and that'll slide. You'll notice your shoulder blades slide down your back when you do that. But then you have this arch in your low back. So you want to pick your pelvis up and do that posterior tilt. Bring yourself down one vertebrae at a time. And then, is my beam in the way? My beam is in the way of having my feet the way I want them. I'll rotate. Then we're closer anyway. Okay, so shoulders down, away from your ears, low back flat, legs out. You can also keep them up. In fact, if you want to bring your knees together, feet out, it's a good internal hip rotation and a good way to rest as well. You can release the neck. You can close the eyes, and I will walk us through a systematic relaxation, which I'll enjoy myself. I hope you enjoy too. So we're going to inhale to the whole body. And exhale, releasing tension. And that hard floor is kind of hard on my low back, so I am moving my yoga mat underneath me. All right, so we're going to start at the top of our head, and we're going to relax the top of our head, relax our scalp, our skull, and all the contents inside. We're going to relax our forehead, our temples, our eyes, our eyelids, our eyelashes. Relax your eyes, the eye sockets, all the sinuses, relax. Relax, your nose. Relax your cheeks and your ears. Relax your jaw. Relax your throat. Relax your shoulders. Relax your upper arms, your elbows, your forearms. Relax your wrists, your hands, your fingers, your fingertips. Then inhale relaxation from your fingertips all the way up to the crown of your head. Exhale down, relaxing your face and neck. Relax your heart, your chest, and upper back. Breathe into your heart center, front and back. Simultaneously exhaling out. Again, inhale, expanding through both front and back of your chest. Exhale, relaxing down your torso, front, back, sides, and insides. Breathe into your belly. Exhale, releasing tension. Release your hips, your pelvic floor, your butt, your thighs, your knees. Relax your shins and calves, your hamstrings, your feet, tops and bottoms, all the bony parts, all the fleshy parts of your feet relax. Your toes and toenails relax. Let your legs feel heavy and supported by the earth. Let everything feel heavy, appreciating being completely supported right now. There's no muscles that need to be engaged. You can literally let everything rest. Breathing deeply through your whole body, notice that your breath and your energy moves more easily through your body when it's relaxed. deep breaths through your whole body. Noticing the benefits from your yoga practice, how much better your body feels now, how much space there is to breathe into, how much more alive your body is and you are as a result. When you're ready, you can start to hug your knees again. Do tiny knee circles. One direction and then the other. I want to stretch out your legs, stretch out your hamstrings. It feels good. You might want to do a little bit more twisting. Just a gentle knees to one side, looking to the other. Whatever helps you feel good. You can turn to one side. You can even enjoy another moment of relaxation on one side. A nice deep breath. Releasing all your troubles with your exhale. And then bringing yourself back up to sitting. Sit however you're comfortable. Doesn't have to be cross-legged. Inhale, lifting your gratitude. I am grateful for you. Namaste.